Hey, what's going on, guys? So to continue with the story, we're getting close to wrapping it up here. So as I said, we got scammed, and we were searching for a new mentor. Well, we ended up finding him. It was a guy out of Phoenix who was on a much bigger scale, and that's like one of the things he did was mentorship. And so it was really, really great that we found the guy that unfortunately at the end ended up scamming us. But to be honest with you, it was almost worth the price of entry, because he was a local mentor, which was extremely beneficial for us with us being in that market. And so he taught us things for there. And so anyways, we ended up getting another mentor, this guy out of Phoenix, and taught us. The reason we picked him was because it was a lot of the same things the last guy taught us, but on a much bigger scale, starting to use technology and stuff rather than just hardcore, just no technology, no nothing. And so that really also started to change the direction for us. Learning some higher level things. And that was our most, and here's another huge lesson. I've really kind of found in life and in real estate, it really is pay to play. Nothing is going to come free, and you got to pay. You get what you pay for, And at that time, it was like $4,000, I think, is what I invested into the new mentor from Phoenix. And that was the most money I'd ever spent in my life, and that it was certainly scary, but we did learn a lot from it. And that, like I said, kind of changed the direction for us. So keep going down the road of this path that we were on, and we were trying all kinds of different things, trying to make things work. We were consistently closing deals, but of course we wanted to go bigger. We wanted to go better. And we basically ended up, come on, Max, come on. Basically, we ended up, looking for, more mentorship. You will never regret investing in yourself, That's one invaluable thing that you could do. You could literally invest endless money into yourself and you will never regret it. And so we ended up running across somebody who was, if not one of the biggest people in the industry. And we ended up basically messaging him, and we got a mentorship through him. So this is kind of like a gap I'm leaving here, where it was just no huge events happening, but there was a pretty big space in between the last one we had and then the new one that I'm talking about right now that we got. And basically we messaged him, and his mentorship was yet again the most expensive thing I had ever done in my life. It was $25,000. No financing, cash. You wire it over. $25,000. And basically what came with that is that we would go down to Tampa, Florida, and we would do, it was a 3-day event with him. And then for the following 6 months, you would learn from his team. And the following 6 months after that, you would learn directly from him. This is one of the best things you could ever do, because it's, I don't know how to explain it. It's just you get into the circle of these kind of people. One of the things that you get with that is when you pay $25,000 to go to, an event to get a mentorship, you're also in the room with everyone else who also spent $25,000. And so it puts you around some high level people. It gives you some amazing connections. It puts you in the circle, And that's one of the things along my path that I had learned is there truly is a circle. Everybody knows each other. And I noticed that as I kind of, studied the biggest people in my space, I learned that everybody seemed to know each other and for years. And I was like, how do all these people know each other? Well, it's from events like that. They met each other, they began to grow, and stayed in touch with each other, maybe even did deals with each other. And anyways, some amazing things happened when I went to that event. We went to that event, and great, unbelievable experience. His event was, 10 out of 10. Honestly, it was overwhelming, the amount of information that we got. A very high level. We got what we paid for sure. But that's not where the real beauty began. The real beauty began after that. So I didn't realize it, but the person that I had gotten this mentorship through, I thought it was all just him. Well, really he was partnering with another company, and that's what they do, is find real estate guys and basically say, hey, you can come and teach your stuff. We'll provide the stage, we'll provide the audience, and you just show up and talk, and that's all you got to do. And something happened. I talked to my mentor a little bit about it, but I don't want to go into details about anything. Something happened between them, and they split. This is not all that long ago that all this went down. So we're in Tampa. This is so crazy. I remember being in the classroom, and during one of the breaks, I'm looking on my phone, and I'm seeing these videos on Instagram coming from China of them spraying the city, spraying the stuff all over the city. And I remember showing the guy next to me, I'm like, have you ever seen this? This is crazy, right? Some disease going on in China. And obviously it was COVID. So as soon as we got back home to South Carolina, COVID hit the United States. And it hit the United States, and it impacted our business immediately. Not only that, but like I said, there was some sort of split that happened in between our mentor, and this company he was with. And so a lot of people, there was this huge group chat, and all these people were super worried, like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Are we still going to get what we paid for? What's happening? And I had sent a message into that. This is the early 2020, and I sent a message into that group chat, and I was like, man, 2020 has thrown every possible curveball it can come up with. And I got a direct message from my mentor, and he said, hey, he was like something like, hey, I got you, or you're with me. And I didn't understand it. But what it was is that we had messaged him. I think there had been something stirring up between him and that company for some time. And I guess he started to obtain clients himself rather than just through them. And I didn't realize this, but we had messaged him on Instagram. And we paid him directly, not the company. So when all this went down, he basically let me know that, hey, I got y'all. Like, y'all are mine. Like, y'all aren't with that other company. Y'all are mine. Because what happened is this other company shut him out. There was some sort of dispute between them, and it shut him out and basically stole all of his clients. He had a Facebook page that he created, and they stole the Facebook page and everything. And they cut him off. Well, he kept us. It was me, my business partner, and a very, very small group of guys. I'm talking about before when we did these big Zoom calls, it was 40, 50 people in the chat. And then now we started doing these Zoom calls with him, and it was 6 people, something like that. And I really believe that was really, really, I don't know if that was destiny. I don't know if that was meant to be. I don't know if that was pure coincidence. And all I know, it was not of my doing. I signed up for something else, and I got way, way more than what I paid for. Basically what had come out of that is I ended up being able to create this amazing relationship with him. And amazing amount of guidance from him. And these other guys that were in the group were not no small of a guys. I mean, they were all ahead of us. And I mean, just being able to connect with people like that and to simply be friends with people like that is incredible. And I mean, basically later on, what happened was we had, we were doing these Zoom calls, and they were going great. And he said, "Hey, it seemed to be really great with you guys when we were all kind of met in person." And he said, "Why don't we get together again?" And this is where things can be extremely impactful. At least for me, in my own life, is when you can actually get around and see things in person. It's one thing to see pictures, and it's another thing to actually be there in person, to actually experience something, For example, to go rewind a little bit, when we were in Tampa, he took us all out, the entire class, like 40 people or something like that, and took us this 5-star restaurant in Tampa. And it was incredible. It was just, like I said, I don't come from money. I don't come from that. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think I had. Well, maybe once or twice, but I'm not used to that. I'm not used to nice things like that. I don't like I said, I don't come from money. And said, I don't know if this was destiny. I don't know if this was meant to happen or pure coincidence, but what happened changed some things for me, at least in my perspective of everything. So what happened in that dinner, we walked in, and he had basically ordered up like a private room and for everybody to sit, and there was like 6 tables, 7 tables, something like that. And I had saw on one table, it was a group of guys that I had sat next to in the class, and I'd already kind of gotten to know them, everything, and I was comfortable sitting next to them, right? But in my own mind, I was sitting there thinking, I didn't come here to be comfortable. I came here to network and connect with people, and I already know them. And so even though this is very uncomfortable for me, I'm not going to sit next to them. I'm going to try to strategically sit next to who I really want to talk to. And who do you think I really want to talk to? I want to talk to the teacher. I want to talk to the mentor, the guy who is running the show, the guy who is doing literally millions and millions of dollars in real estate transactions. And so we walk into the room. He had a COO. This is the guy who was running the main operations of the business, because at that time he was already starting to work other ventures. And I walk into the room, and it's his COO and the COO's wife. They're kind of greeting everybody as they walk in. And I kind of went and chatted with him and his wife and everything. And I happened to notice what table her purse was at. And she had like a little jacket, small, kind of thing. And I happened to notice what table it was at. It was obviously the table they were standing next to. Well, I put 2 and 2 together, and I said, when the guy who's the mentor, when he walks in, where do you think he's going to sit? What table do you think he is most likely going to sit at? Next to the COO. Why? Because he knows him and he's comfortable with him. So, I asked them if they would sit down, and so they did. So I sat on the opposite side of that table, purposely, to leave open other seats. And I was watching the room as I'm kind of chatting with him. He had an incredible story too. He came from some startup company. It was like some sort of, they did, I think what he said they did was sales for some college like in the Midwest. And when he started, he was one of the original people, and then he became a manager, and he himself grew it from being just a few people to him having over 500 callers. And so this dude was the real deal. He knew his stuff. And so I'm chatting with him. I'm having a good time, learning from him. And I'm watching as the room is starting to fill up. The room is starting to fill up, and all the other seats are being taken, and the spots next to me are still open. There was a spot to the right of me that was open. My business partner sitting to the left, and I believe there was 2 seats next to him that were open. Well, the room is starting to fill up, and pretty much it's full now. Everybody's there. And so, of course, he comes in last, the mentor. He walks in, and where do you think he sat? Right next to me. Some people wouldn't have made a big deal out of that, but it was a big deal for me. I was by far the youngest person there. I was 20 years old at the time. And you're talking about, there's 40, 50-year-old people there, people who were doing, one of the guys was doing $250,000 a month. And so you would think he would rather sit next to him, right? Well, I think because I kind of thought it through, or maybe it was not my own doing. Maybe it was, like I said, maybe it was destiny or something. I ended up getting to chat with this guy, and that's why I first got really connected with him. And that's why I first really got to hear a story. And it was literally just me and him, sitting right next to each other and talking the entire dinner. And then we would kind of turn and talk to the table, and then kind of go back to talking about each other, talking about our stories, I listened to him talk about purpose. I listened to him talk about what he's here for. I listened to him talk about what he wants to do and, his values and everything. And it was incredible. Truly incredible. And I didn't notice this, but my business partner told me, he said, man, you wouldn't believe it. He said he would look around the room and everybody was staring at us almost the entire time. Like almost envious, like they should be sitting there. They wanted to be talking to him, basically what happened was what I just described a little bit ago of that separation between him and that other, educational company. That all went down at the same exact time that COVID hit the United States. So there was a massive impact on our real estate business. Sellers would not allow anyone into their homes. Tenants would not allow anybody into their homes. Buyers stopped buying because they didn't know what was going to happen in the real estate market, and everything just froze, totally paused. And at that same period of time, this guy that I had just spent the most amount of money I'd ever spent in my life to be my mentor puts a post out saying he just quit the business. And so that's when, that whole big group chat I described earlier, that's when all of that started happening. And when I had sent the message in, and he let me know that he's got me, because I had signed up personally through him, not this other company. And basically what happened is he pivoted from real estate to Amazon. And he did extremely well. He was already making a lot of money a month in his real estate business. And he basically just went to the top of the industry, basically. I'm not sure if there's anybody, maybe there's people that are bigger than him. I don't know. But, as of right now, he's doing $1 million, 1.5 million a month right now in the Amazon space. And he basically gave us some information on what we should do. And he was doing something called Amazon automation, and that's where you build stores for other people. And he basically, taught us how to do our own. And so that's what we did, and we went in on it. We went hard on it. And the first month, we did over $100,000 in revenue. Which is awesome. And I'm gonna take a second. You got to see the sun's going down. I don't know if you can see it. The sun is just gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful. So we did Amazon, and basically then the real estate eventually kind of loosened up and came back for us. We were able to continue to do that, and we were still trying to do the Amazon, but we were running into some problems. Literally because we scaled so fast with Amazon, I guess they paused us to like investigate us. We truly didn't do anything wrong. I guess they are such a big company. They have to be very cautious, you know, because I guess a lot of people can do scams through them or potentially do something bad like launder money or something like that. And so they just want to make sure you're the real deal. So that's what they were doing. And so basically we were able to then pivot back to real estate and to, you know, really make that work. And well, basically what was happening is this house that we had in Columbia, South Carolina, our lease was about to expire. And we were like, you know, where do we go? What do we do? You know, I don't really see the point of getting another house in Columbia. I don't see how that's going to allow me to grow. And that is one of the very, very important things I have at least done in my life that I've noticed that others don't, is looking at what do I need to do to grow? Not what's comfortable, not what's easy, what do I need to do to grow? And for me, the answer was I need to get out of the city that I'm from. You know, if you listen to Grant Cardone or anybody like that, one of the things that he talks about is what was extremely powerful for him in his story. I think he's from Louisiana. He picked up and moved to California. I don't know exactly how old he was, but he says that was extremely powerful for him. And I was always very, very inspired by that. And I wanted to do the same. And, you know, I reflected back on when I had spent some time in Tampa. I spoke to one of the other students there, and I told them that, you know, I didn't know this to be fact, but I was like, I think we're probably one of the biggest wholesalers in, you know, my area. And that guy told me, he says, if you think you are already one of the biggest, that's a problem. He goes, you need to get out of that city. He says, you will never grow personally or in business staying there in that city. And that made a huge impact on me. A huge impact on me. And I wanted to, man, I just wanted to grow, you know? And so I started thinking, okay, where do I go? This is all that I know is South Carolina. And so basically, I got talking to my mentor. Like I said, I built this amazing relationship with him. And I was like, hey, you know, we went down to Tampa. We really enjoyed Tampa. It's a great spot. And I said, you know, hey, what do you think? Should we move here? And he's like, well, I'm not going to tell you where to move. He said, that's completely up to you. He said, but he's like, I see what you're wanting to do. He's like, you're wanting to get around bigger and better people than what you are currently around. And you're probably wanting to get, you know, a little more connected with me and everything. He says, I understand that. He goes, but don't move to Tampa. He said, because I am rare in Tampa. He goes, but in Miami, I'm a nobody. I'm a little fish in Miami. I'm nothing. That place is full of extreme wealth. And he said, I'm currently trying to move there right now. And so we said, hey, I mean, this guy at, you know, 28 years old is worth over $20 million. I said, I'm not going to argue with him. You know, I wanted this guy to be my mentor, and this is what's, you know, he's kind of advising me right now. And so that's basically what happened is we started looking for places, and we came down to Miami, and we did some apartment shopping, and we ended up finding this incredible place. I mean, the sun is starting to go down a little bit, and the view is starting to change again to be unbelievably beautiful. And we found this place. And there's a whole nother story about this place, you know. And you know what? I'm gonna pause it there because I think this is extremely important too. And I'm gonna save this for the next video. So I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one to fully wrap up this whole story here. Peace.